Alright, Kevtris is about to make all your NES 8-bit dreams come true. Promise. Alright, so basically, Kevtris has made up a mod kit for Nintendo 8-bit stuff. I think the only one we can't possibly do is original Famicom.
Yeah, Famicom maybe not.
Maybe not because of the eject mechanism. There's just not space in there. But front loader, top loader, AV Famicom, Sharp Twin, Sharp Titler.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Tiddler.
Maybe. But basically what we have here is 1080p HDMI. And what else we have? They're all P's, right? 480p, 720p, and 1080p?
Yeah, and then 576p for the PAL mode, and
Right.
720 and 1080 also for PAL mode.
So it's not only NTSC consoles we can work with here, it's PAL as well. Already tested, we've got PAL chips and all that stuff already going.
Mm-hmm.
And we're internally generating clocks, so...
Yep. It's
not a
auto
problem.
detecting, yeah.
And
it
auto detect
detects.
between NTSC and PAL. So the resolutions, I don't think anybody's doing 1080p besides us.
No, nobody's
As far
doing
as I
it.
know, Bunny Boy's AVS is
720 only. 720.
So that's awesome, amazing. The audio is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what's all going on with that.
Well, right now we've got regular NES audio. Actually, we'll probably have to play something else. Like Mario 2 is pretty safe because my video didn't get flagged. I posted.
I'll get flagged no matter what.
Like,
Maybe a homebrew or something.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Let's just go through all the technical details of what it is, though.
what right now.
What all you can do with it.
Well, basically we got NTSC and PAL support, but you have to have the chips. So we unfortunately can't run PAL games on an NTSC system or vice versa, but it will work with both chips. So this will work anywhere on your NES, and of course, like I said, it does all the resolutions from 480 up to 1080, 60 frames a second, of course.
Let's talk about the
Audio.
all the expansion audio.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I'm gonna have all the expansion audio in there. Right now, I got NES audio working. I'll have VRC6, maybe VRC7, MMC5, Sunsoft 5B, and FDS channel, and Namco 106. There'll be a on-screen audio display doodad, whatever you would call that thing.
Which we can do what with?
It just shows you the channels playing.
Okay.
And I'll be able to pan each channel left and right. If you want center, left, right, or anywhere in between, you can pan.
And you said we're putting out 7.1?
No, I can't do 7.1.
Okay.
I maybe be able to, but again, I'm so resource strapped on that thing.
Okay, so we're still looking just left, right.
Yeah, left, right for now. I mean, I may go back and add more channels. I always have that option. Like a bigger chip, I could do it.
So we might have a second version of the kit that could potentially have all the stuff that we can't quite do with the first prototype.
Yeah. I really wanted HQX scaling in there too, but I don't know if we'll be able to do that or not.
Oh, if you don't know what that is, just wiki HQX and go and see what it looks like. It's amazing, and I'm really, really rooting for that. But we're still in the initial phases of all this stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah, I got the hardware all working now, so that's the huge step. As you can see, it's working right now on the monitor. So.
And then what next? Oh, overclock.
Oh yeah.
Freaking overclock's built in. Can you believe it? I was just shitting with him. I was like, can we build him some stuff? And he was like, well, yeah.
Yeah, to do overclock, all you do, you hold down start, select, and hit up to overclock down to underclock, I guess. You'll bring it back down, whatever you want to call that.
The big thing with overclock is always that the sound is way off.
Yeah, the sound pitch will change when you overclock. So I've overcome that problem too. When you overclock, you can either tie the audio to the CPU or the PPU. So if you tie it to the CPU, the pitch will rise as you overclock, and if you tie it to the PPU, it'll stay the same.
That's awesome.
Now the DPCM, that will rise in pitch as the system is overclocked because there's nothing else I can do. It must. because the CPU controls that and I don't.
Okay.
So, because I'm snatching the data off the bus as the CPU reads it to reproduce the audio. So, and everything's all obviously menu controlled through the controller. You hit select, start, and left, and the menu pops up, and then you can go through the menu up and down, fire button, all that. And then you can reconfigure the hotkey that gets in the menu. If you don't like that, you can change it. I think that's about it.
So the expansion audio, as far as we were talking about auto detecting, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, the expansion audio, I was gonna have it off on auto. If it's on auto, that it will try to be smart and figure out which game is running and which audio it should enable. So if you play like Lagrange point, it'll try to figure that out and turn on the VRC7, for example.
And it's internally generated.
It's internally generated,
so
yes.
we don't have to rely on the power pack to do all this stuff.
Yeah, the power pack just needs the mapper. It doesn't need the audio hardware. And the one minor downside is I cannot accept external audio, so power pack audio won't work, but who cares since I'm generating all of the expansion chip sound anyway.
And it's in digital.
And it's digital, that's correct. It's not analog at all. So
amazing.
So
this is gonna be awesome.
So it's 100% noise-free audio, theoretically.
Okay, and another thing about the big problems with doing 1080 or HDMI or whatever is a lot of people have a frame buffer in there. And
yeah, no frame buffer on this, so that means there should not be any controller lag, or just the only lag there'll be in the system is in the monitor. So I buffer about 8 or 10 scan lines worth of video, so it's not, that's such a small amount that there's no delay to speak of between the controller and the system and the monitor. So
super
there's no
cool.
frame buffer, no nothing. So I guess that's about it.
Yeah, the great thing I love about this kit is it's going to be so easy to install. There's 3 boards, 2 ribbon cables, 2 screws. That's it. Now, we still have the problem is where we do have to desolder the CPU and PPU to make this happen. So, if anybody there has already done NES RGB work, you already know how difficult that is, and if you can't do it, don't. Send it to me and I'll do it. But if you already have the right equipment or the experience, whatever, it's going to be a breeze. And the only other thing is actually putting the holes into the side of the console, and we are working on a template to make that easier. This is going to fit the top loader and put your holes right where you need it. But that's it, and then you're good to go. And then anything you want to do with it is user control with the controller in the menu, and you can do whatever you want. It's so awesome. The NES RGB is such a headache.
Yeah, with the palette
Every order
switch.
is different. And a lot of people don't know what the palette switch is. Well, what does that do? They don't know about all the expansion audio options that I have. Just oh my god, it's crazy. And I'll get like 89% way through an order,
and someone will say, "Oh, hey, can I have that?"
Well, and then they won't even tell me what they want. Like today, I had a couple top loaders show up, and there was no mention of what palette switch option he wanted at all. Not a problem with this kit. It's just install it and you're going. It's excellent.
Yep.
Let's see what else.
Well, it's been tested with the Power Pack and the EverDrive and a large stable of cartridges that I have.
Right, which are some of the more known problematic ones.
MMC5, that works fine. I tried out various multi-carts, they all worked. So and the Power Pack works fine, and it's running right now actually, and then EverDrive seems to work okay, so we'll do more testing on that. Once I give you one, you can run all your carts through it, or run a couple hundred carts through it to see if they work.
Definitely.
So it does not replace the CPU or PPU, but it does use them. So this is not a HDMI NES in and of itself. It relies on the original CPU and PPU.
It's not a clone system.
Yes, it's not a clone system. It works similar to the RGB adapter. Doesn't that thing have a name?
NES RGB.
NES RGB. Yeah, it works similar.
Tim
to-
Worthington's kit, yeah.
Yeah. So it works the same way for extracting the video that thing does. Only I'm also hooked up to the CPU because I have to extract all the data to reproduce the sound. So, and because of that, I can do all the expansion sounds. So, and the code's already done for expansion sound. It's on the FPGA NES, which has been done for quite a while now.
Right.
So I'll just pick the code up, drop it in, and
That's kind of how this started. Is when we met, he brought his big board for his multi-system, and you were talking about how you already had all this stuff done, and it had HDMI output, and I was like, "Hey, can you possibly make us a mod kit?" And that was just like 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, this is week 4. Thursday will be week 4.
No kidding. In 4 weeks, we're already have a working prototype.
Yeah, I'd say about 60% at this point. I still got all the menu stuff to do. The menu's there now. It actually comes up and goes away. I gotta make all the sub menus and make the menus do stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a timer on there now for people that want to do speed runs also.
Which I'll flash the menu again and point out that duration, whatever.
Yeah, elapsed.
Elapsed time, that's what it was. So, yeah, I think that's awesome because, I mean, Bunny Boy's talking about putting out Power Pack 2 with leaderboards for high scores. But I don't remember anything about a speed run or a timing thing, and I think that would be something a lot of people would like to see, like to have, like to be able to prove.
Yeah. So that'll be on there, so that's pretty easy to do. So. And yeah, so my HDMI is standards compliant HDMI, which means it should work literally everywhere.
Worldwide.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the things I did ask for that we cannot do is a built-in Game Genie.
Yeah, can't do it. Wah wah.
Not a huge deal. I mean, if you have a Power Pack overdrive, you can already do it anyway. So, whoopee.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been that very useful anyway. If you want a Game Genie, just plug one in, it'll work.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just one of those nice coulda, woulda, shoulda features.
Yeah.
So one thing
I was thinking all kinds of stuff we can cram into it.
One thing I would have liked would have been a built-in copy NES. So I may still work on that a little bit. I have one extra I/O now, and it goes to the CPU board, which is the best case scenario for doing a copy NES. So I may still be able to do that.
And how would there be a USB port?
Right now I got serial right now, so there'd be like an adapter you'd have to buy. Just plug into that debug port on there.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. Probably don't count on it. So, right now that's what that little 3-pin connector is for on there. It's going to this USB to serial box. And that's how I've been doing it. I did all this menu, things happen, that's how that works.
Right.
So that's very common, all my projects have that. So, this one's the same way, that's what this is doing. That's the serial debug port, just like that one. So that one, it works quite well. So that debug port's actually connected up to the 6502 on this board. So I guess you could call this a coprocessor.
Right.
Oh yeah, and mine also has this debug LED also. You can't really see it, but that LED will flash out error codes and things like that. Like if it doesn't work, you'll be able to tell why. Maybe.
Maybe.
Like they'll say CPU not detected or PPU not detected. It'll tell you by the number of flashes.
And would that be if the CPU PPU had failed?
Failed, or it wasn't in there, or there was something it didn't like. Because it'll check the chips on power up to figure out what system you got. It's got to be able to tell PAL from NTSC, and that's how it'll do it. So that's how it'll tell.
So, like I was talking about earlier, when it boots up and sees whether or not the chips are good.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it's doing. It just can't do the SRAMs.
Yeah, that's basically what it's doing.
Okay. What else?
Oh, that's about it, really.
Stuff I want to add, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still in flux right now, so of what I can and can't do.
right.
Basically, I just keep adding stuff until I can't add stuff anymore. That's
So
how
we
it
do
works.
have some video capture, but it's only 720p.
Yeah.
because your card is only 720p.
Yeah.
But there is some. I'll put a link down below if you want to watch it, because you're not going to want to watch it through the camera.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah,
not going to look right.
I mean, it's funny. It looks like an emulator capture.
Yeah.
But so that's why on my video I went through the whole power pack sequence on the intro, so you know it's not a emulator.
Right.
No one's emulated the power pack yet, and it'd be very hard to do that.
Why would you?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Very cool.
So I've been working on it. So yeah, I figure another month or so, I think I'll be done. How maybe even sooner than that. We'll see. I mean, it just depends on how good things have been going pretty good lately. So I gotta get a new FPGA and stuff another board and go from there.
So we're talking about how we're going to release this, and maybe for the first 100 or so orders, we're not going to sell it in kit form, because you know, like Tim Worthington had a lot of problems with his release, and it would have been a lot easier if there weren't already, you know, 2,000-3,000 boards out there, and he didn't really have a good way to fix it other than somebody buying a USB blaster and hook it up to the computer with the proper software and everything. So the first 100 or so, I'm going to do probably going to be a mix of my consoles and people sending me consoles. That's still a ways off, so we're not real sure when that's going to start happening. As soon as possible, of course. But it's also another feature that we're looking at doing on the NES HD, or whatever we're going to call it, is being able to update firmware through a flash card, right?
Yes, that was the other thing I was going to mention. Right now, what I have set up is I'm going to make it so palettes are updatable by the user if you have a power pack or an EverDrive, or even a cartridge, I guess, if you program an EEPROM, if you really want to go that far.
Right.
So, so I was going to have up to, I think, 8 palettes. I was thinking 8, 4, 8. I mean, there's really no limit. I mean, other than how many you want to go through.
So there's not going to be a selectable palette on the kit unless you...
No, there is.
there is.
I'll have a bunch of defaults in there.
Okay.
I'll have what are the ones on the RGB thing? There's like
Natural, Improved, and Garish. Which Garish is the Play Choice 10.
Oh, that's what this is.
Improved is the FCUX.
Okay.
palette.
This is the Play Choice 10 palette.
Really?
Slightly modified, yeah. I dumped that palette. I'm the dork that dumped all of the PPU palettes.
Well, cost.
Yeah.
We have no idea what to charge for it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely shooting for sub 150 for the kit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure installation, once I get it down, and it's going to be fairly easy, I'm going to think under $100. Shouldn't take me that much, but
yeah.
We'll get all those details later when we really nail them down. So we still got time before it's actually finished and ready to start really installing.
That's about all I can think of.
I know, I always draw a blank when I start looking at the camera. There you have it. One away. No lie. Okay, so a few last things I want to reiterate, and this is about contacting us about getting one and information about it. I really just don't want to get bombarded with emails about this, so what I want to try to do is forward people to either website information, more videos of course, definitely be doing a few forum threads, definitely like Nintendo Age, probably NES Dev, maybe a few others. Definitely setting up a section of my website for it, and probably will try to keep that semi-updated. I believe Kevin is also setting up a website for it. So really we're just trying to keep it to a minimum. Please don't email me and think that I'm going to put you on a wait list. We're just not ready for that yet. We're not even thinking about that quite yet. When we get to that point, I'll let you know and we'll figure something out. Like I said, probably only going to do like 100 at a time or something like that. In the first 100, are only going to be installed by me, just so that we can keep an eye on it. And maybe even the first, I don't know, 10 or 20 is just going to be some of my consoles that I do here, just so that we get it all worked out, make sure that everything's fine. But you know, we still got maybe another month to actually complete the kit, and then probably a couple more weeks just of testing it, just to make sure that all the games work and that it works on different TVs and all that kind of stuff. But I will be putting out more videos. We already have one shot of us actually putting together the prototype board using Kevin's reflow of it that he built. And it's not really interesting or nothing. It was just something I shot just because we were doing it. So I'll put that up here in a few days. And probably start doing some test fitting. And I might shoot some video of that. But like I said, just hold your horses and be patient with us. We are trying to get this out as soon as possible, but we also want to be cautious of, you know, how quickly it goes or whatever. So like I said, just watch the threads, watch my YouTube channel, websites, stuff like that. All the information will be posted there that needs to get out there. I'm just trying to keep my inbox as clean as possible for now, because I still do have a lot of other projects going on and a lot of other people and stuff trying to get all that stuff finished before I am just dedicated to this alone. So keep watching, and be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll get some more information out there when we can.